Welcome to Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart, sponsored by Nichols Knight Production. We are your hosts. I am Katina Robinson.
And I'm Ronnie Robinson, and we are broadcasting live from the Den, Studio 12. Welcome home.
And speaking of home, thank you so much for allowing us into your home, whether you're watching us right now or whether you're going to watch us on the replay. We are so glad you tuned in to Bone, Marriage of the Heart tonight. You will not regret it because it is going to be off the chain.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and throw our topic in there, and then we're going to come back to what Bone to Bone is. Tonight's topic is how to love greater. So
can you imagine?
We're going to leave that right there and go ahead with the rest of what Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart is, coming from Genesis 2:23 and 24.
And 23 says, "And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Verse 24, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh."
And I so enjoy being your one flesh, babe.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I thank God for you. You know that.
And upon my research, I've been doing like a lot of research on, just in the Bible and just on the topic on tonight. And when I was doing some research, I found out that the word cleave in the Hebrew means cling. And so, which that means to chase after.
Yes, and I love chasing after her.
And I love for you to do it, babe.
Amen.
And the second half of what Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart is from Matthew 6:21, which says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And like I always say, whatever has your heart, whatever you treasure, you take the utmost care of it. You love it, you pamper it, you shine it, you do whatever it is to take care of your treasure. And my husband do an amazing job taking care of his treasure.
Hey, I thank God for giving me the strength
Amen.
to do what I need to do to keep you happy, young lady.
Yes,
Love
and you
you.
do it well. Thank you, God. Yes. And so Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart purpose is to encourage couples to remember love is worth fighting for.
Yes.
All right. So we've already shared what the topic is. It is how to love greater. So we're going to go dive right into the word on tonight. So audience, if you guys would go ahead and when you get an opportunity, or if you would like to just read along with us, go ahead and look up Ephesians 5:22 through 33. But we're going to focus tonight on starting at Ephesians 5:25.
All right. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husband, love your wife, even as Christ also loved the church, and give himself for it."
Amen.
Amen. So guys, I'm going to read that one more time. "Husband, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church, and give himself for it." Think about that. Think about that. God have created so many things in this world. I mean, the atmosphere, the clouds, the trees, the lakes, the oceans, and things, the fish of the sea, and the creeping things of the world. But I don't love those things much as I love my wife. If he created those things and he's in me, and he's ordering my steps, I'm gonna love her to the fullest. I'm gonna try to love her above and beyond, because she is part of me. She is flesh to flesh. We are one now. We one spirit. Well, two spirits join together to fight this situation or things that we run into being married. We do these things together, and we go through these fights together. And I thank God for my wife. She chases God more than she chases me. And that is the most attractive thing that I know about my wife, along with her beauty and her smarts and so. But to chase God more than she chases me, I appreciate that. And that give, I want to give more love to her now because she does that. So,
amen. Amen. And so we're also going to read Ephesians 5, and I'm going to read it from a This is a study Bible, and it was such good information that I wanted to kind of share some of the study Bible with us on tonight. And so I'm going to start at Ephesians 25, which says, let me bring it a little closer because I don't want to miss not one word. Okay, in Ephesians, Paul is discussing the biblical idea for marriage and its theological significance. Marriage for Paul is a holy union, a living symbol, and a precious relationship that needs tender, self-sacrificing care. Paul devotes twice as many words to telling husbands to love their wives as to telling wives to submit to their husbands. How should a man love his wife? He should be willing to sacrifice everything for her, make her well-being of primary importance, and care for her as he cares for his own body.
That's good.
And so on that note, one of the things I learned in my study is one thing they talk about a lot in Ephesians 5:22 to 33 is submission is the act of submitting, and it is rarely a problem in a marriage or relationship where each person has a strong relationship with Christ. So it goes back to what we always say is that when you got Christ leading your marriage, it makes things different.
Amen.
Hello, Sharon. Hello, Deborah. Let's see. And also it says that it is concerned, each is concerned for the happiness of the other person. So when you have Christ leading, guiding, directing your marriage, it makes you more attentive to the other person. It's not a competition thing. Submission is not a problem. I've never had a problem with submitting to my husband because he loves me so much that whatever it is that he wants, I want to fulfill that. So I don't have a problem with doing whatever it is he asks me. And so that was just one of the things that came out of the study. And I learned a lot about how a man loves and how a woman loves. And I when I ran across my study, I was sharing with my husband that I've always felt like he has such a high degree of love. Like, I mean, he loves me to the bone, and I love him back. But I always felt like that his love surpassed mine. You know, not saying that I love him no less or anything like that, but just I felt like his love surpassed mine. And so on my study, what I found out is that the Bible tells a man to love his wife, but it never tells a woman to love her husband. It says to submit. And what I found out in studying this is that the way men receive love is through respect. Amen. Like, if a woman respects her husband, and you know, if she just always esteems him and just tell him how much she loves him and all the great things about him, that's our way of showing our husbands love, because they see love through respect. And women see love through love, the touchy, feely, putting on my jacket, opening my doors. That's the kind of love we love as women. But men look at love in a whole different light. So on studying this, I was just blessed because I was like, okay, that explains it. That came straight from God, that men is told and instructed to love their wives. But yes, you don't see nowhere in the Bible where it tells a woman to love her husband.
I just want to piggyback on this.
Go ahead, babe.
I mean, you think about this, guys. Respect. If you love yourself and you respect yourself, the best thing that makes that respects grow and shine it more is that when you have a wife like my wife, she respect me and she totally showed that to me. But it's on the basis of me being humble and not thinking just because I'm the head of the household, I have a whole idea that everything I say goes my way. No, you have to humble yourself. And by humbling myself, I've seen my wife, I say it's love, baby. You have showed me love from the head to the toe. I mean, up and down, every which way about love that you have shown me that. But you have shown me the respect. So that's why I know it's love. And so my wife mentioned that, you know, I got this high degree of love. I'm going to tell you something, guys, out there. If you love your wife, love her to the fullest.
Yes.
And I think that is the highest degree that I can possibly achieve on this planet. And I thank God for giving me that spirit to have that, because you can get college degrees, high school diplomas, all these degrees, certifications, and all these things. But the bottom line is, men, if you don't have it rooted in you to love above and beyond those things, you really just, it's a vain thing. You know, I'm willing to say that and bold enough to say that, because I truly want to love my wife to the highest degree. And that's only through Jesus Christ I can do that. That means living for him, walking this thing out, and not just talking it.
Amen. And so if you have not taken the time to share this video, go ahead and share the video. Again, the topic is how to love greater. So we're just giving you word. Like, this is out of the word of God. It's out of the Bible, what we're talking to you tonight about. And like I said, it comes from a lot of research in the Bible and researching from the King James, from the Study Bible, the NIV, just different Bibles that I was sitting and just gathering information so we could tell you guys what, as we learn, we're wanting to share it with you guys, because like I learned a lot from just from the study that I was doing, because like I said earlier, I always felt like, you know, my husband seemed like he outshined me when it come to the love. I didn't quite understand it, that the Bible tells him that's what he's supposed to do, and it tells me that I'm supposed to respect him, and that's the way he perceives the love. And so respect is to speak highly of, to hold in high regards, to praise. Do not demean a man's ego. Wives have to help their husbands. They have to esteem their husband. They have to encourage them. And so what I found out in all of this study is that love is packaged different for men and women.
Yes.
Cause like I was saying, I want the love, all the loves, the agape, the eros, all the love that he can give me. That's what I enjoy receiving from him. But I have to in turn show him love and respect and esteem, and anything that I can do to make his life better. I enjoy doing it.
Yes.
Because of the love he shows me. And
those are some of the things, single women and single men out there, those are the things that you need to start looking for. Looking at these things, if this man or this woman don't have those qualities, and you see those things, they got things that's not of you, that you don't want in your life, that's a red flag. You need to start examining the situation, and not just jumping in it with the fleshly situation, but always understand that, first of all, let Jesus guide your eyes, guys.
Yes.
And like my wife always say and tell me that, you know, when for the single guy, there is a lady out there on her knees praying that a good man would find her. But both got to be in alignment with Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And that is the thing that make it anointing, a life together. That you can go through the valleys and the peaks of things and still love each other to the highs. And you know, you're gonna get accusations hurled at you daily, 365 days, 24/7. If you're married, the devil's gonna come against that, because first of all, Jesus anoints that. He anoint two people coming together and getting married and being the best that they can be, and first of all chasing him.
Yes.
So Satan gonna come at you.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about that. You think about what God has put together, ordained, and stay in the word. You fast and you pray, and if you have kids, make sure that you fast and pray and intercede for them if they in the house or grown and out of the house.
Okay. Babe, if we're gonna go to Ephesians 28 and read all the way down to 33, and then we're gonna get into some more meat of this.
So you say 28?
Ephesians 5, starting with verse 28.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Think about that, guys. Think about that. You know, let's stop there. We got to put a pin and talk about
Go
that.
ahead.
When you love,
Yes.
when you love yourself, you know how good it is to be alive every day. Wake up and you're alive to go into this world. And you love yourself. You want to live a long and prosperous life.
Yes.
But if you married and you have a wife in your life, you're supposed to love her at that same level. This is what that's
the
saying.
word of God. Yes.
All right, let me go to 29. For no man ever yet hate his own flesh, but nourish it and cherish it, even as the Lord the church. So, going back to what I'm saying, if I love her, I'm loving her through Jesus Christ. That's loving her through the church, because Jesus is going to give you the attributes to know how to love her. Cherish her, giving her the things she needs in life to be beautiful like she is and happy. Oh my goodness, guys. That's loving yourself.
That's it.
When you love your wife, you love yourself.
Yes.
So if you want your wife beautiful, you are beautiful.
That's it.
And that's just how it is.
That's
so
it.
Go ahead, baby. You read 30.
30 and 30. Okay. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bone. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And as I said earlier, if you see where it says to cleave to his wife, the word cleave in the Hebrew means to clutch. And that means to chase after. Yes. And so, we always want our husbands chasing after us, and us, and vice versa.
I chase you like that line from Africa. I'm serious.
Yes. Okay, let's stay focused, baby. Let's stay focused.
You want to keep it G?
We're going to keep it G.
All right, keep it G.
Okay, so I'm going to read from my study Bible here, where it says, the union of husband and wife merge two persons in such a way that little can affect one without affecting the other.
Wow.
Oneness in marriage does not mean losing your personality in the personality of the other. Instead, it means caring for your spouse as you care for yourself, learning to anticipate needs, helping the other person become all they can be.
Wow.
The creation story tells of God's plan that husband and wife should be one, and that's in Genesis 2:24, and of course that's our foundational scripture. And Jesus also referred to this plan in Matthew 19:4-6. So those are some scriptures you can go back and read again. But yes, that is definitely talking about how to love greater. So we're going to dive into some more meat, okay? One of the other things that I learned as I was as we were studying, is a man is motivated by what he sees.
Woo-hoo. I'm motivated by seeing that lady right there.
Only
that lady.
A man is motivated by what he sees. A woman is motivated by what she hears.
I love you.
I love you back. And so,
that's the truth, though, guys.
So women supply their need. So by what she hears, and she cleaves to her husband from that. Like, she really is motivated. That's what motivated her. That's what drives her, is what she hears from her husband. Like, my husband is my biggest cheerleader, and anyone that's around us, anywhere we go, people always make that comment. Whatever I'm doing, whether it's motivational speaking or whether we're up together doing something, he's my biggest cheerleader. He always cheers me on. He always encourages me, and vice versa. But that's what I learned from this, is that men are motivated by what they see and women are motivated by what they hear. So us as women, we must supply that need. We must look our best as much as possible. Like, it's our job to look our best for our husbands. Like, one of the things I always try to do when I know I'm going to get home before he does or whatever, I try my best not to be at home in no nightgown with a hairnet on and all of that. I try to, when he walk in that door, I'm looking my best.
Amen.
Sometimes it's with makeup, sometimes it's not, and I ain't gonna go into all the rest of that. That's his vision, not yours.
Amen.
But we should try to look our very best as much as we possibly can. Because if not, that view that he's seeing, like I said, a man is motivated by what they see, right? And so that view that he's seeing become not interested.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
women,
listen up, ladies.
It's our job to keep that eye, what he see, what he's looking at, interesting. That's what we did. We do everything we can to draw that man, right? We smell good. We look good. We go get our hair done. Some of us go get a makeover. We get our nails done. We get our toes done. All of that. We do all of that to look our best to get him. So why is it that some women, once you get him, you be like, I ain't finna do all that no more. I got him now.
Wow.
No. If a man is encouraged and motivated by what he see, do you want him looking another place?
Wow.
If not,
Wow.
it is your
That's
job
good, baby.
to
That's
look
good.
your best at all times, as much as you possibly can, to keep his attention.
Dedication. It's called dedication.
Oh,
to
yeah.
one
It's
another.
work.
Yes.
It's work. Because
But-
I tease him all the time. I said it's so easy. When it's time to go to bed at night, all he do is get undressed and get into bed. I got to take off makeup. I got to take my contacts out. I got to pin my hair up. It's work. But it is worth it because he loves me. I love him, and it's worth every single second of what I have to do to keep myself looking my best for my man.
Hey, I want to piggyback on one of the statements that you said, sweetie.
Go ahead, baby.
About hearing what we say.
Mm-hmm.
That female. Listen, there's one thing about my wife. When I met her, I saw so much potential in her from that point.
Mm-hmm.
And my job was to, in my eyes, and I told you earlier that my love is, I think is, that's the highest degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I used my degree in love to start telling her, baby, you could be this.
Mm-hmm.
And then to hear the conversation that I had with her, I knew that she had a book in her.
Mm-hmm.
She has a book now.
Multiple
out.
books.
Right.
Yes.
And a lot of other things, she's a nurse, she was an awesome nurse, she's still a nurse, but those are the things that you need to start telling your wife. If you see potential in her,
Pull it
some
out.
love on it.
Pull it out.
Post some love. Yes, that's
Pull
right.
it
A
out.
great way of putting it, baby.
Yes,
Pull it out.
Yes.
Because one thing about it is, it's loving yourself.
That's it.
When you give your wife compliments and you give her advice and you see those advice come to fruition, then that's loving you.
That's right.
Guys. So
And
put
when
your
we
foot
take
down.
care of each other,
Yes.
Satan don't have no place.
That's true.
Like
That's
when
true.
you're doing what you're supposed to as a wife, nobody's perfect. Don't get it twisted. We're not trying to say by no means we are perfect, but we put 100% effort at trying to be the very best that we can be. And so when we take care of each other, the enemy, the devil, that trick out there, or that him out there, don't have room. Like another man cannot even turn my head. Like he can walk by, he can be smelling his best or have on his job outfit or whatever. It don't get my attention because my attention is right there. He got my attention. And that's the way it should be. You don't leave room for the enemy when you're taking
Amen.
care of home.
Thanks, baby. Thanks.
Yes.
Another thing I want to say is that talking to the guys. I'm mainly wanting, because this conversation tonight, how to love greater.
Yes.
You know what? All you players out there, that got all the women's on the side of us thinking you single and got all the women's on the side. The toughest man on this planet is being able to get one woman and love her to the fullest.
Amen.
And there's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
That's right.
That's the toughest man on this planet, is to love one woman and just that one, because the world got it fixed where they hurling so many pictures and framing Facebooks and Instagram and all this stuff. These women doing all the crazy things to get your attention. The toughest man on this planet is to love one woman.
Amen.
I triple you. I triple dare you to try that.
Amen.
You players and pimps, or all you think you players out there. Let me be a real man. Is to love one woman and love her to the fullest. Let's see
All
you
right.
try that.
Let's get some more meat in there.
Come on.
All right. So
Come
when
on.
God made man, he formed him. So we're going back to Genesis when man was first created, right? So when God made man, he formed him. When he made woman, he built her. The Bible say made, and if you
Get in
look
there,
that up, it's built. He built her. And so the woman was built for the man as a
Amen.
helpmeet. Like
Yes.
that's what we were built for, is a man. A helpmeet. And when I say built, I mean built in all forms.
Can
And
I-
we're going to get to that a little more.
Oh, okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right. I was going to go in there right now, baby.
All right, let me finish this thought. Then I'll let you get in there, baby. Okay. And so another thing I learned upon studying is that Eve, the woman, was brought to man. And you know what that man was doing when Eve, that woman, was brought to that man? The man was doing two things when Eve was brought to him. He was in the presence of God,
One.
and he was working.
That's it.
So back when man was created, Those were what the man was doing before God even created Eve.
Yes.
He created man first. He
Good.
formed
We study,
man.
Y'all. We study. You gotta
He
get in the
formed
word.
man, and so when he formed man, he put him in the Garden of Eden to do what? To keep it, to dress it.
Cultivate.
So he was working.
Yes.
And also, it says in the Bible that he was in the presence of God.
Wow.
And so that man was doing two things when a woman was brought to him. He was in the presence of God, and he was working.
Yes.
Go ahead, babe.
Well, I just want to tell you, I thank God for creating the one man. And you got to understand, my wife is saying, yes, when he created her, check out what I'm doing out there, y'all. Oh, yeah, he made her. He gave her the
built
tools
us.
for me,
Yes.
and including help me do work.
Exactly.
Guys, he didn't create us to be, we was formed. We only have one exit, and I don't even want to go there. But the bottom line is, he created her at a high level.
And I'm finna get into that a little bit more.
Go ahead, but I want you to get into that.
Okay, so everything that God put in a woman, her looks, intelligence, her skills, her having vision, her organization skills, her womb, her nurturing spirit, all of that God put in a woman was for a man. Think about it. Okay, he gave her the intelligence to help her man, to make him better, to come together and make businesses, skills. He gave her skills to help with all of that. He gave her a womb. What does that womb take? It takes a man. So that womb that a woman have was made for a man to what? Produce seed.
Multiply.
So everything that God put in a woman, how he formed her, and everything was put for a man.
Yes.
Right? So a woman was built, equipped. She came equipped with everything that she need, right? And so when you find men that are threatened because they may say, she's too aggressive or she's too independent or whatever.
Wow.
She is not aggressive. She is not too independent. She is equipped. And if you just don't know what to do with that equipment,
you don't deserve her.
I always say, don't marry out of your league.
Yes.
Don't even date out of your league. If you can't handle it, walk away. If you're threatened by that woman, don't downgrade that woman. Don't take away her being her because you're threatened. Because God made women equipped. We're equipped with everything that we need. And so he made us just for man. So when a man say that a woman's too independent or she too aggressive or this or that, walk away, bruh. Because you can't handle that.
Wow. You heard that?
Walk away.
Let me piggyback
Go
just
ahead,
for a
babe.
second. Going back to the scripture on Ephesians 5:28. So shall man love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. This the thing my wife is talking about. Look at all the equipment, all the things that God gave her to be at that help meet situation with me. Is that she is beautiful, she got everything we need, but guess what? He say it's part of me.
It's for you.
It's
It's
helping
for
me
men.
to love myself. So hey, you need to write this stuff down tonight. You
Yes.
really need
Take
to
notes.
share this video tonight, because we got a lot of marriages in this country right now failing because they don't know how to love. They don't know how to go back to the cornerstone and say, look, let's start this over. Let's look at this. Let's get Christ involved to where he can order our steps along the path. And then when it's time to tie the knot, and this for the single folk, when it's time to tie the knot, or the engaged folks rather, then you'll know what you have. You'll know that this person, that if something happened to you and something physical like paralyzed or something that you can't do for yourself, you can look across the table or look across the bed or in the bed, and this person will be there 100% for you
it.
through those issues. So all this is geared around loving yourself, guys. When you love your wife to the fullest, you truly loving yourself too.
That's right. And so a man that is proud, of his wife, that shows off, that brags about his wife. He knows what to do with his equipment. He knows what to do with what God birthed. God created woman just for man. And like I said earlier, she came fully equipped with everything that she needs. But he created, the whole purpose that God created woman was for man.
Yes.
To give him, for her to be his helpmeet. And so when a man, like I said earlier, when a man is threatened by that, you're in the wrong lane. Just walk away. Just walk away until you get yourself ready, because you cannot complete someone if that person don't know who they are already. If you're in a position where you don't know who you are already, please don't marry someone, because they can't complete you. You got to know who you are in your own self before you can go and marry someone, because if not, you're taking them down a road that they don't deserve to go.
Amen. Amen. I want to go back and talk about the respect, baby.
Okay.
I truly, I want the guys to understand, when a lady show you respect, you're supposed to show her love. And the way to do that is the both of you always keep the circle of people, keep them out of the house. Keep them outside the door. Let them deal with their own situation. But in the house, the both of you should always come together in prayer and fasting, and reading together, and studying together, and gleaming off one another. And when you come out that door together, it ain't you coming out that door together. It's Jesus first. Because when you inside that house and you giving God your all, you're reading, you're fasting, and the both of you are on one accord, I'm telling you, that shine that comes through the door outside those four walls of your home, it's Jesus first. That's who you want to go before you first. It's Jesus. And the only way to do that is start inside the house together on one accord and showing each other respect.
That's right. And so again, our topic is how to love greater. So if you have not shared this video, please go ahead and share the video. Please put your comments, your question, anything you have for us, go ahead and post it on here. I'm looking down at your comments and your any questions you have, we will address them.
Please do.
But we just, like I said, because of the study that we did, we wanted to share what we learned with you guys, and that's the whole purpose of our job, is to encourage couples, encourage relationships that love is worth fighting for. And this right here, like, I learned a whole lot just by doing this study about how I can love my husband greater. My thing was, like I was saying earlier, I always felt like he was like a notch above me when it come to love. And now I understand why. Because I got the revelation through the word of God that's what he does. That's what he was ordained to do, is to love me. But the way I love him is to respect him. So it made me want to respect him more. It made me want to esteem him more. It made me want to encourage him more and just be a better wife for him, because the way he loved me and the way I want to show him love back. And so one of the things that I also ran across that was so funny that I didn't even realize was in the word of God. But like I said, I was deep in this, y'all. I could not put the Bible down. I was doing more research. And I was like, this is an hour show. I can't do everything in an hour. But we were studying together. And even when we weren't studying together, I would pull away and I would be studying some too. And so it was just fun for us to do this together and learn so much of what we learned. And one of the things I also learned was in 1 Peter 3:7, it says that when you are angry at your wife, this was directly to the husbands. When you are angry at your wife, it hinders your prayers.
Wow.
I was like, what? So if you look in 1 Peter 3:7, depending on what version of the Bible you look in, it reads a little different. But when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God. So my husband can't even be upset at me. And I know this goes vice versa, but it was directed at the men. He can't even get a prayer through if he's that angry at me. Like, God don't even hear his prayer. So I was like, we take marriage so lightly. Well, people take marriage. We don't ourselves, but people take marriage so lightly, and unless you really study and learn this word and get these revelations, you don't even realize what's going on, because when it's said and done, honestly, you guys, marriage is not even about us. God created a man. Then he gave that man a helpmate, a woman. He created her just for him. But you know, his whole purpose is to for them to get together and create seed and replenish the world, you know, to replenish the world with the seed. And subdue it and to dress it. And so when it comes down to it, what I learned and what I'm really learning, since we're in this battle of ministering to people and helping marriages, is what I've learned is it's all about the kingdom of God. It ain't about us anyway.
Yes.
We have to do the things to line up according to the word. But when it's said and done, marriage is for God's purpose.
Amen.
Everything he created it with a one man, one woman doing his will.
Amen.
That's the way it was created.
Love is packaged different for men and women.
Yes, it
is. On that, baby.
It is. It's packaged different. As I said, the way men receives love is through respect. And the way men are encouraged and motivated is to see. And the way women receive is love in the physical, in the natural, you know, the things that he can do for me. And the way women be encouraged and motivated is through what they hear. And so I just, you know, like I said, I was just amazed at all of that I learned, because I do a lot of reading. I'm always reading the word. I have different books that I read, and I learned a lot from a man of God that since passed on, Dr. Miles Monroe. Yes. Like he got like information out there just about dealing with marriage and how a man should love a woman and all of that good stuff. So I've just been feeding. My husband and I just been feeding so we can feed you. So one of the other things that, after I read that about when a husband is angry and he can't even, it hinders his prayers. That's the exact way it says it in the Bible, 1 Peter 3:7. It hinders his prayers. So we have to look at marriage as a partnership. Like, that's my partner. That's my covenant partner. That's not my opponent. That is not my enemy. That is not anything negative. It's all good. Like, and that's the way we should look at each other. And I feel like if we look at each other in that way, we will learn to love and respect each other more, because when, like my husband said, when he loved himself, when he's loving me, he's loving himself, and vice versa. And so if we want the best for ourselves, you know, we got to treat our spouse at the top level.
Amen. You know, one thing, Jesus died for everything that possibly could happen to you on this planet. He died for you to be able to be redeemed. If you're, my wife and I, we've been married before and we didn't get it right, but God gave us the grace to get it right this time.
Amen.
Because this time we weren't looking at things with our own eyes. We was trying to look through life through Jesus' eyes, where he could guide us and lead us. And one of the things that my wife and I, we really wanted to do when we first started talking is to lay it all on the table.
Oh, yes.
And when we decided to get engaged and everything, we got counseled.
Oh,
and we wanted to put it all on the table, all the marbles and everything, and know what we want. And see, like I said, now I had an opportunity to love at the level that I know I can do, because I could see things in my wife. And like she said earlier, what we say to them or what we say to you is that when you hear good things that's in you, pulled out of you, then you're helping yourself, guys. So the bottom line is that when you look at your wife, you're truly looking at yourself. When you truly love yourself through the church, then you really love your wife.
That's right. And because in my study also, I found out that people get divorced because they got married. God didn't marry them.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I know that's my testimony. That was me the first time when I got married. It wasn't God. It was me. It was someone I chose, and it ended in divorce. And vice versa with my husband. So if we're not letting God order our steps and letting God show us who he created for us, excuse me, then it don't work because we're doing it. We want God to do it. We don't want to do it. And that's what my husband and I always went into our marriage talking about, is divorce is not an option. And when you know God is putting you with the person he ordained for you, divorce is not an option. Like, that's not even a topic of discussion. It's not going to happen. You won't allow it.
And I want to say that, guys, when you love your wife, when you travel and you do things together, my wife and I taking a trip the other day. This is just a testimony, and the whole trip, we talked the whole trip about God and things that we can do in the ministry, and God continue to use us, and God touch people's lives, marriages and single people's and people engaged, just touch people's lives, use us. So like my wife said earlier, we are just God's mouthpiece, but now we join together, so we're a tougher force now.
That's right.
When I'm down, she can intercede for me.
That's right.
When she's down, I can intercede for her. When she's sad, I'm pulling her up to happiness, and vice versa. This is what it's all about, but it's all about Jesus Christ.
That's right. And one of the other things that in scripture that I found that I want to hit on a little bit, and it's in Titus 2:1-15, and it talks about, the Bible specifically tells the aged men and the aged women to teach the younger ones. And I think that's where a lot of things are falling through the cracks, because if you came out of a household where it wasn't done right, like I didn't find out until years later that my mom and dad was together, but they were never married. Like, I didn't know they had the same name and last name, and back then the common law was, if you stay with someone long enough,
7 years, I think it was 7 years,
that you can take on their name. So I think that's where a lot of things are falling through the cracks, is because the older women or the aged women are not passing on these things to the younger women, because they don't know to. They don't know how to, and so same thing with men, is they're not passing it down because they didn't do it right, or they married and got women on the side or whatever, so they keep it hush hush, and so then it's not being done right. And so my husband and I, we made that vow, we made that oath that we were going to do it right. We were going to get it right, even though it wasn't our first time. We got it right. We wanted to be an example. We wanted people to, young people to look at us and say, okay, if that's, because I've heard this saying before us, is that if that's what marriage looked like, I don't want no part of it. I've actually heard young people say that. And so my husband and I want to change that. And everywhere we go, I promise you guys, wherever we go, whether it's older or younger or whatever, people always say, I just love how y'all love on each other and how y'all treat each other. And they always think we just got married. Like, nobody, we would celebrate 15 years next month. Woo woo, praise Jesus. I see our bishop just tuned in. Hey, Bishop,
hey,
shout
Bishop.
out to the man of God
Stay
that married us.
by Jesus, young man.
Yes. And
so
that's our goal, is to make that whole persona of marriage that people perceive as something bad. We want to change that, and we want you guys that we're ministering to change that. We don't want marriages just to be going through the motion. It's not supposed to be that way, because when you're going through the motions, the kids see it. People say they stay together for the kids, but you're hurting the kids when they're seeing marriages that they got the numbers but no happiness. And that is not our testimony, and we will not allow that to be our testimony, because we continue to date each other.
I want to piggyback on that, sweetie.
Go ahead.
Another thing, guys and ladies, if you're married, get around that circle of marriages that is truly living for Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And gleam off each other. I'm not saying be personal, you together all the time, this and that, but you got to hear the word. It's got to be spoken to each other. The power of the tongue. When you're around marriages that is like my pastor, Bishop, and his wife, they are excellent examples for us. And we have gleamed off them for years.
They've celebrated 26 years, so they have a lot to show us, and we learn by seeing. It ain't always what you say with your mouth; it's what you see.
Right, and my wife and I, we truly gleam off of those things, and we implement them in our lives wherever we go. And and when I pull my wife's chair out from under her dinner table or put her jacket on, it's for real. And one thing, guys, stop being ashamed of showing love to someone supposed to be part of you.
That's right.
You're supposed to be helping each other. So if you were sitting in that chair and you would want that jacket put on your shoulder. So it's all a part of you when you're married.
And vice versa, women.
Yes.
You know, I can share that testimony about me. When my husband and I first got married, you know, he's just a loving person. He shows love. He always have. But I really honestly didn't know how to truly receive it. And so he would try to, you know, put on my jacket and all that. And I was this aggressive, as we were talking about earlier, you know, I was this confident, aggressive
that turned me
woman.
on, though.
You know, and I would be like, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. So women, let your husbands be your husbands. Let them do the things that they enjoy doing for you, because when you shut that down, then they gonna start looking to someone that will let them do that.
Wow.
And
That's
so
deep, baby.
you have to,
That's
women
deep.
have to we have to let our men of God show us love. And that's not always easy when you've been damaged from previous relationships or previous marriage, or just didn't learn that in the house. Sometimes women don't even know how to accept that. And that was my testimony. But my husband kept pushing and loved me through it. Until now, hey, that's all I expect, is all that love that he shows. Amen.
And guys, and the longer you do it, the more you do it, the more it become part of your system, your spirit, your intellect, will, and emotion. It become parts of that, loving your wife at that level, and become, I'm not gonna say natural, but
it becomes
it's
second
above,
nature. Second
above
nature.
and beyond second nature, because it, like I said, it goes back to what I said. You loving yourself. If you love yourself, you will love your wife at that level too. So
that's right. And we have to remember, go back to the topic, what we're talking about, how to love greater.
Yes.
And if you just tuning in, you might have missed what I said about how women receive love and how men receive love. Women need love. And the Bible tells a man, if you go back to where we was reading in Ephesians, it specifically tells a man to love his wife.
Yes.
It didn't say love a woman. It said love his wife. So let's be clear about that. So you're supposed to put a ring on it. It's supposed to be your wife. But we ain't going to get all into that part
But I
right
want to
now.
read that scripture one more time.
Go ahead,
that
babe.
you just mentioned. It's Ephesians 5:28. So ought man to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
Yes.
This is the word. This
is.
This is from the Bible, whether it's King James. It is a living organism word. It's alive.
Yes.
And as long as it come out of my mouth, loving my wife, it's going to manifest. And,
That's right.
And this is some of the greatest manifestation you can have in life, is to love your wife to the fullest.
Yes. And so, as I said, men receive love in the way of respect. When you respect your husband, when you show him all the respect, especially in public. You know, I've seen women that totally disrespect their husbands in public. That is the rudest thing that a woman can do to a man. Take that stuff to the house. Do that behind closed doors. Do not do that to your husband in front of people, because that demeans him. That tears him down. And the Bible tells us that the man, he loves, the way he receives love is through respect. And so if he receives it through respect and you're talking down to him or embarrassing him out in public, well, you're not doing what he needs in the form of love, because you're supposed to esteem him. You're supposed to encourage him. You're supposed to build him up. Is he always perfect? No. Are we always perfect as women? No. But we got to, if it's something that he does or a woman does out in public, wait till you get in the car, you know, and discuss it, babe. Okay. I think you should have handled that a little different. Or, babe, you know, don't do that or whatever. My husband is such a, and you know, we're transparent, so I'm just being upfront and honest, and he does too. My husband is a very friendly, talkative, conversating type person. And so, of course, when we got married, or even before we got married, we attend church. You know, and that's our foundation, is we believe in God and serving God and doing all we can. That's the center of our marriage. Right. But he was real friendly, you know, godly hug. And I told him, I said, babe, that's fine. But some people you have to, you know, try to watch before you just hug women, because women are taking and run with it. And we ain't trying to set no red flags or no, you know how some people say they perceived that because he hugged me a certain way, I felt a little something. No, you ain't felt nothing up in here. And so I had to point that out to him because he honestly didn't mean any harm, but I saw women receive it in a way like, I'm like, no, baby, back up. Because we might be in church, but don't make the ghetto come out in a sister. So those things, he was seriously being himself and being nice. He meant nothing by it. But that was one of the things I had to point out to him. Is like, just because we in the church don't mean people don't try to go, the wrong way.
Hey, sweet, I want to piggyback on one of the statements that you said a few minutes ago about addressing each other in public. And this for the guys and the women out there. And see, I didn't grow up in church, so what I'm about to say is that I've seen it out there in the street world, in the club world, and all that. Is when you disrespect your loved one in public, guess what it does? And if a guy is standing on the side and you disrespecting your lady, that's his angle. That's his angle, thinking that, okay, well, he ain't respectable. Let me show some respect to her. And then those things are invited. See, you open doors when you do things like that.
That's
now,
right.
on the ladies' side, if you dogging your man out in the public, then guess what? The guy's gonna say, he weak. He weak. What's wrong with that? But see,
and the women sitting over there like,
saying,
I can treat him better.
Exactly what I'm saying, Butterfly.
Yes. So definitely we have to do what we need to do, because love is packaged different for men and women. So we know what our men need. They need encouragement. They need motivation through what they see and what they get from their woman, and so it's our job, it's our duty, like, to do the very best that we can to keep him encouraged, keep him motivated, and look our best for him. That's our job. It ain't like that's something that you did when you first got married and then you just stopped doing it. Marriage, I've said this before, marriage is a tree. Marriage is a seed. I'm sorry. Marriage is a seed. And in order for that seed to be fruitful, you have to take care of that seed. And taking care of that seed consists of love, attention, sunshine, a little water. We love the water. So my husband got to take me to the beach every now and then, because that's what I need. That's what this seed needs to grow. So whatever that seed needs, it's up to that husband and that wife to give that seed what it needs to produce a tree. And when you produce that tree, then you have fruit. And your fruit can be in the form of your children. They see mom and dad and how their marriage is, and they exemplify that in their relationship and in their marriage. It can be branches and seeds and branches of ministry. I have a girls mentoring program that I mentor young girls. We have a marriage ministry. So those are branches of our tree, because we watered our tree. We took time to give that tree sunshine. We take time to give that tree a little fresh air. Whatever that tree needs, we make sure we do it.
Let me say this, sweetie. When you read John 14 and 15, you are that branch. We are branches of what God wants us to be. So read those chapters, John 14 and 15. You understand what I'm saying, being that branch. And and also I want to point out another thing, sweetie, is that when you're on one accord in your marriage and letting God order your steps, there is nothing you can't achieve.
Amen.
There is nothing.
Amen.
You can achieve everything you want to, because it may be my wife achieving a goal, but I'm there supporting her and encouraging her exactly the way she's supposed to be encouraging me. But I'm showing her love by doing that, trying to encourage her to do that. And then the respect is back come my way.
That's right.
And that's what I want. I want to respect that I'm being the best man God have created me to be for her. And the only way to do that is, like I say, prayer, fasting, reading. That's it.
Yes.
That's the three.
And so the takeaway, if we would say, I know the whole show, I pray, has blessed you guys and been awesome. But the takeaway is, like I said earlier, is that men were formed. Women were made or built. If you look up it says
Built.
made in the Bible. If you look that up in the Hebrew, it's built. And so because she was built, that means God, did all that extra for the woman. He just formed men. He just blowed into them. He was there. Women.
Now, chapter 2, verse 7. Now he formed us.
Yeah, he formed. He formed the men, but he built a woman. He took the time. He took that rib out of Adam and created and built that woman. And when he built her, when he created her, when he made her with everything that she needs in order to be that helpmeet to that man, including a womb. He gave a woman a womb. If a man say he got a womb, he lied. He wasn't built with that. A woman was built with intelligence. She was built with skills and organization. Everything that a woman has inside of her, she was created with that to be that helpmeet to the husband. And so to be that helpmeet to the man of God. And so men, as I said earlier, if a woman was built and equipped with everything she needs, if you are threatened by her or you feel like she's too aggressive or too confident, step away. You in the wrong lane. You're not ready for that. Because if you feel threatened by what God created in that woman that was actually created for the man,
for me. Come on.
You don't know what to do with the equipment that God bless you with. That woman is the equipment that came with everything. You know how when you buy certain things, you have to buy some more niches and screws or different things, but some things come and everything is in there. Well, that's how women was born. We was born with everything in there that a man needs. And so a man's job is to love that woman and be all that he can to her. And in turn, she's going to be work.
And work.
Yes.
You must work.
Yes. And so in turn, she's going to give her man everything, her husband. I ain't going to say man because we ain't doing man. We doing man of God and husband. This is talking about husband and wife. And so if God gave that woman all the equipment she need, it's up to her to help encourage and build up her husband and to be all that she can. And like I said earlier, you definitely want to always look your best for your husband because men are motivated by what they see. Women are motivated about what they hear. So if you're not looking your best and being your best in front of him, then his eyes are going to wander. If you are doing all you can to look your best and be your best to him, he has no reason for him to wonder at all. There's no room for the enemy to creep in if we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Sweetie, I want to read the last two scriptures here in Ephesians 5, and it'll sum up a lot of what we're talking about.
Okay.
And write these down. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 32 and 33. It says, "This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church." Verse number 33. "Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself." Again, there it is, himself. Love her like you loving yourself.
That's right.
And the wife, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
Yes.
See,
reference is
wrapping
respect.
it up in one package, man. This is how we package it. When you love your wife like you love the church, she gonna reference you at a great level. At a great level. What type of man you are. That's why she don't have to go looking anywhere else. That's why
right.
things are provided at home behind those four walls. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Well, we got two doors, but like I said, fasting, praying, and reading, and being on one accord. When your wife and you are walking out that door, it ain't you. First of all, it's Christ walking out the door and coming out here into this world. So,
amen.
So, baby, I love you.
Love you
It's
too,
been an
babe.
awesome show.
It has. You guys have any questions for us? We see your comments, and we're not ignoring your comments. We were just so deep in conversation.
Yes.
But I see you got, hey, Marina. Hey, Alethea. Hey, Ataria.
Woo.
Hey, everybody that tuned in. I missed some names. I don't want to leave anyone out. Hey, Yvonne. Ms. Wilson. Alethea. I think I already said Alethea. But hey, all y'all that tuned in, I hope you guys have been blessed by what you heard.
Share this video because I'm telling you, it is all about how to love
Greater.
And
Yes.
I mean, just think about that. If you
Hey,
can
Miss
just
Joanne.
get it in your thoughts whenever something is about to go wrong or this and that in a relationship, think about this.
Hey,
How to
nephew
love
Roderick.
better. Oh, what?
He,
My nephew?
he tuning in
What's
a
up,
little
man?
bit late. You're going to have to go catch the replay.
Yes.
Hey, Miss Genesis. But yeah, so our topic tonight was how to love greater. So everybody that's just tuning in, please go back and listen at the replay
Yes,
because
yes,
God
do
God just dropped so much knowledge and wisdom on us as we were studying, and I learned how to love my husband greater. He
Thank you,
learned
baby.
how to love me greater, and we wanted to share it with you guys because
Yes.
that's what it's all about. You know, we all about being transparent
Yes.
and to be a blessing to you guys, you know, because what we said earlier is that marriage, we're not married we didn't just marry just to be married. God married with a purpose. He created a man, then he built a woman for a purpose. And with that
Amen.
purpose, you know, we have branches that branches off from our tree. And our tree is ministry. It's our children. It's mentoring program, just whatever you can do to be a blessing to the people, because we're not created for ourselves. We're created to help others. So if you're not walking in your full purpose, then you need to consult God. You need to go to God and just keep asking God and seeking God to find out what your purpose is, because marriage in itself is a purpose. We
Yes.
work amazing as a team. I mean, God, when I always tell my husband, God created this man just for me, because I'm telling you, he was created just for me, because everybody can't put up with me, and vice versa. So that's what God does. He has a person that he created and ordained and made just for you. And men, he has a woman that was built just for you. So
Yes.
stay encouraged. And as we said earlier, in Titus 2:1-15 tells us about the aged women. And I'm not quite, the aged women, but I'm a wise woman, so I say that. And the aged men are
Amen.
supposed to teach the younger. So that's what we're here to do, is to try to teach people that's dating, or even if they're not dating, but they in later years want to be in a marriage. We want to be that example that we can set, that they can come to us and ask those questions, or they can glean from us and say, okay, if that's what marriage look like, I want a part of that.
I want to challenge the guys before we get off. But I
Go
want to
ahead.
challenge you guys out there that's married, engaged, dating, or single, looking for. I want to challenge you for the next 10 years, change the atmosphere of this divorce rate. Get them down.
yes.
Get with someone, study them, study that female, see what she like, what she don't like. Get to know her, marry these ladies.
Become her best friend.
Yes.
Don't leave that out.
Yes.
Being
Yes.
best friends is what help a marriage work, because you can say love all day long. Love is good. Don't get me wrong, but love can fall in and out.
All right,
But when you're
let me
best
finish my
friends-
challenge. Let me finish my challenge here.
Go
now.
ahead, baby. Go
Guys,
ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
want y'all listen. Arkansas is number 2 in the nation in divorces,
Yes.
and rates are going up everywhere in each state in the United States. So I want to challenge you for the next 10 years, the younger generation start looking at you all love each other, like my wife and I love each other. Well, they can start. Wait a minute. This love thing is what's happening. Make it a fad again. Make it a fad again. So we love you guys. We thank you all. The challenge is on.
Yes.
So, hey,
Love.
hallelujah.
Amen. So we hope that you have learned how to love greater.
Yes.
And we ask that you will go ahead and still share this video even when we get off, because people can catch the replay. And we're about God's business. So that's what we want to do, is minister to his people,
Yes.
that they can be set free, healed,
Amen.
and delivered. They can enjoy life like we enjoy marriage. Like
Yes.
we enjoy, is not a front, is not a fake for the TV, none of that. We enjoy being in each other's company. We enjoy traveling together, doing whatever we do, doing life together. We enjoy doing that, and that's the way God ordained it to
Let's
be.
see you get this 10-year challenge, guys. 10-year challenge. We're gonna swatch this divorce thing.
So we love you guys. We thank you so much. You have been tuned in to Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart. We love you guys.
Love
Good
you.
night.